Do you ever walk into the gym and feel a little bit like that John Travolta meme? This video is 3 tips to help you go from beginner to a bit more confident in the gym. If you've just started the gym and you're feeling maybe a little bit awkward, confused, or maybe even a little bit terrified, this is the video for you. I've been there. I once dropped a barbell on my foot, and honestly, that's only the worst thing that's been caught on camera. Tip 1 is about exercise selection. And actually, I found that we often pick exercises that are not necessarily based on what's best for us, but actually how confident we're feeling on the day. And confidence isn't just going to come from nowhere. It's about exposing yourself to those things to try and break down that barrier, and also build up your competency in those things to try and find confidence by being capable. It's a lot of C's and B's alliteration. It might feel safer to grab a pair of dumbbells, find a corner of the gym and stick to curls, lateral raises, and maybe some lunges. And truthfully, that can be enough. But if you want to improve your lifting and how you lift and how you move, then often the biggest tip I can give is to start to think about the exercises that you're going to be picking and choosing. We always talk about the big compound movements. So learning to squat, bench, deadlift, shoulder press, pull-ups, and bent over rows will not only improve your strength and physique, but they'll massively build your confidence. These big lifts teach you a lot. Tip 2 is range of movement. The thing you see really often with beginner lifters is cutting the depth that they're doing in the exercises. So when they do squats, they're quite shallow. When they do press-ups, those will be quite shallow. And what we want to encourage to sort of get more from your training is definitely an increased range of movement. Because the truth is, you only improve through the range that you actually train. You want to expose the muscle to a full range of movement. It kind of stands to reason, doesn't it, that if you do more with the muscle, you'll get more from the exercise. So take that into all of the training that you do. And that's really where you'll start to see massive improvements in your strength, your muscle mass, and probably the joint health as well. There's definitely a misconception that if you go too low, you will hurt the joints. The ironic thing is probably the more range of movement that you have, the healthier the joint is. It just needs to be eased into it a little bit, perhaps. Tip 3 is tempo. Most people think that when you're doing stuff with tempo, it has to be about slowing the eccentric phase of the movement, and that's the lowering phase. Actually, when I've trained people in the past, I've found that a lot of the time with beginners, you have an overemphasis on slow concentric phases of the movement, fitness jargon for when you're lifting the weight up. And tempo in isolation is neither a positive or a negative thing. It's just a thing. The tempo that you lift should probably be slightly faster on the way up and slightly slower on the way down. It doesn't make too much of a difference, but you want to not just be doing everything really slowly. I know the video said that there was 3 tips to go from beginner to a bit more confident in the gym, but I did that for your own good. They say that 3 sounds better and that you would probably retain the information. But then if I surprised you with a 4th idea, that might be better still. I don't know. Tracking your exercise feels like a massively missed opportunity if you're not going to do that. All you want to do to make progress in the gym is try a little bit harder week on week. Now, if you don't know what you did last week, it's very difficult for you to know what to do next week. Therefore, making a note of how many reps you did, what weight you did, and then the following week trying to beat that by a kilo or a repetition. I like to just do 1 extra rep each week. You are not going to be able to make progress every single time that you step in the gym, but you want to be able to say that you tried, because that's the long sustained progress is definitely through that. Lifting can be quite intimidating, but using these 3.5 tips that I've given you, I think it can really help you focus how your training sessions should look and feel and keep you moving in the right direction. And these tips help you choose the right exercises, train through a full range of movement, encourage you to push and train with intensity, and keep an eye on what repetitions and what weights that you're doing to help you make progress in the long run. If you want to come in and see how we might be able to help you improve your lifting, then click on the link in the description below. And if you don't want to come in, we're on the World Wide Web, so you can just pop whatever it is that you're struggling with in the comments below. And if I've fixed that thing, I'll tell you how I fixed it. And if I haven't fixed that thing, I'll complain about how hard that thing is that we haven't fixed yet, and then we can try and fix it. Sound helpful?